I just feel like not a lot of things have actually changed about the team. We're still playing the same way. There is really no player that can actually make the difference.
Anything with United in it sells paper, like it sells the news, literally and figuratively. So it is always fun whenever United lose. I was speaking to my babe and I was like, you know what? Let me report myself now. We've lost. Because that's the time you start seeing it on status and start asking me, your useless team lost again today. So
not very many things are more interesting, especially on Twitter, on Instagram, than when Man United lose.
And that's how I see Rashford. And for that reason, the whole lot, I respect the guy, to be honest. So I think he has just gotten to a point whereby, I don't know, maybe he just needs to like a change of environment, to be honest. He needs something bigger. He needs to challenge himself. They are facing our players that are skillful out of football. They are facing the old number 10 role out of football. You understand?
With kids, 15-year-old teenagers, you can't teach them how to build up play from the back, how to play tiki-taka. No. They've been taught from a very young age. They can do it. They can play football tactically. They understand how to build up play. Tactical awareness is
like within the same country, you could know other boats for somebody not in your state.
And the Uber guy was like, "Oh, are you American?" Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I'm American." He said, "Do you know Kobe?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Kobe changed my life." Like,
I heard you guys won, no? Yesterday.
Am I the only one that won?
No, let's start with the winners first. Let's not focus on people that lost now. Why are you doing this?
I didn't say people. I said I wasn't the only one that won. So I didn't say.
No, let's just start with who else won that is here.
Who else won that is here? But I don't know. Except that you guys don't support the team. You guys don't have a team in EPL anymore.
So I don't understand. Are you shy about the fact that you won a game against Aston Villa now?
I'm just trying to be conservative, my dear, my guy. Be conservative.
He's no longer confident in his old owner.
Bro, so now, I think probably it's just a good place to actually start. Okay, the only difference between the match yesterday with Aston Villa and the ones last year is that we scored goals. But the same way we play is still the same. Like, the same way Aston Villa lined up last year, they lined up yesterday, and it was just so tough breaking them down, which was they were playing lots of mid-block, you understand? And the difference is this. Timber was the major difference. So Timber was inverting, right? And then he was actually opening up space in the midfield. So giving Partey options to just like giving the pass, make some half turn, or just pass the ball to the nearest man. Just in a way, keeping it simple, just drawing them to just move along with him, drift the midfield anywhere he wants to go, depending on where he receives the pass. So if it was Zinchenko last season, so one of the problems Zinchenko had was that he was able to do that, collect pass in the midfield, but now returning or tracking back anytime Aston Villa launch a counter, because that was how they were able to score. So they were actually punishing us from that left back. But with a Timber who is able to like invert properly and also defend at the same time was only the plus. And again, we're lucky. Yesterday there was some elements of luck. So I just feel like not a lot of things have actually changed about the team. We're still playing the same way. There is really no player that can actually make the difference. Okay, Trossard did when he came in, but we're talking about someone that actually makes a difference from the first minute to the last minute. There was no such player, to be honest. Even the so-called Odegaard was off for the first 45 minutes. He wasn't playing anything. And if Odegaard is not seeing the ball as much, forget, people like Saka and White are not getting ball either. So
I think in all fairness to Arsenal have always played well. And
yeah, no, that's never been a problem. That's what I'm saying.
Wait now. And yesterday was no different. And I feel like people beat up Arsenal too much when it comes to their performances, like finishing the season and all of that. But the fact remains that when the person or when the particular team you are competing against is Man City, it's almost like you have a daunting task. You have an overwhelming task that might never be accomplishable. Like, in all fairness, like, if United had as a defined plan and strategy as Arsenal does, I don't think anybody will have the right to make fun of us. Now, in one way or the other, we are starting to see a form, or we're trying to see a plan come out of United. But I feel like Akin's analysis of the whole game yesterday is a little bit unfair, in the sense that you are almost demanding them to play at the 2005, 2007 Inter Milan-ish kind of standard. Like, in all fairness, I saw that game and I was impressed with the way Arsenal played. In the sense that they have a plan for a team that plays the low block. They have a plan for a team that plays the mid block. Like, they are kind of prepared, except if a red spanner is thrown into the mix.
But,
Either
but,
to
I'm not see like it wasn't a case of like
I don't think apart from the absence of a proper central forward, I don't think you guys like outrightly lack anything. Ryan was out.
Even a central forward won't have actually gotten much of the ball.
I'm not saying in the general.
See, I'm not one of those that feel like okay, no. As much as you need a central forward, and the only reason why you just probably need a central forward right now is because okay, you want to go maybe band for band with Man City because they have a forward in the person of like Erling Haaland, right? That's the only reason. Because right now you can actually play the way Arsenal team is actually set up. People complain that you need just one player to be able to score the kind of goals that Erling Haaland is scoring, and I'm like, but they went toe to toe in terms of number of goals with Man City last season, and we didn't have like a proper 9. So people will make all sort of arguments. Management will look at these arguments also when they're trying to like get a player, and it's no surprise that nobody is mentioning forward, or they are not so particular about a forward during this transfer window. The signs are there. You guys went toe to toe in terms of goal difference with Man City last season, but there are some things that you need currently for me if we're to actually set the team to the standard in which I want currently, whereby I don't have to watch a game and I'm worried that any team that actually lines up any kind of system, maybe low block or mid block. Okay, fair credits to Arsenal last season. They were able to find a solution or an answer for a low block. But the mid block is still going to be a problem. And it's the reason why Aston Villa beat us home and away last season. The same thing also happened yesterday. It took us time to break it. And if not for like players that actually took time to actually get into the game, or they didn't even get into the game at all, like Martinelli. You understand? So you want players, I believe like we should be able to have, same way we have a replacement in a way for Martinelli when he wasn't actually giving us what we want. We should also do the same thing for Saka, because right now he's also complaining about, I'm talking about Teta now, he's complaining about the fact that we don't have enough players in the team. Like he can't assemble like 23 outfield players. You understand? And you see this, you know this, and the way you guys choose to approach the transfer window shows that you've not gotten, you're not interested in the transfer window, but yet you're complaining that you don't have enough players. You're giving the fans the vibe that, you know what, okay, you have more than enough. The players that you have are good. The current fear in the fan base is the fact that, we know the expectations. You told us at the end of the season, last season, that, the expectation is to go for a trophy. But there are no signs. People want to see signs. Signs in the sense that, okay.
Arsenal's problem is more of a character. Like, it's more of a role. Like you guys not just need the correct mindset to fit the role when the time comes. If we're being sincere with ourselves, I think Arsenal fans are expecting too much. You are expecting, and a lot of people don't understand that there's a huge divide between the management and the administrative part of a football club. Like, you can say you want a winger that does this, and the board will tell you, Oga, we don't have the financial capability to fund this at this point in time. So I feel like you guys should cut Arteta a lot of slack allow him to work with what he has at the moment.
It's not. These are Arteta words. These are Arteta words. Wait,
I know.
I'm not saying. We're not even talking about the promise. You did you forget? Did you also remember the part where I said he mentioned it in the post-match conference that says, "Oh, currently they don't even have the required amount of outfield players." That's to show you that they.
Sometimes you just need to promote academy players. Like sometimes that is why.
Okay. Now. Okay, you talk. Thank God that you brought that now, and this is another issue. Okay. You want to promote. I have nothing against promoting. If there's anything we've learned from Arteta, every fan base will tell you. You mentioned these things, but the likes of like what's it called? Emmy Smith Rowe came out of the academy. Now he has been sold. You understand?
Yeah.
And
that points you in the direction of what is happening. It's
okay, what direction?
I don't think they would have sold. I don't know much about Arsenal in depth, but I don't think they would have sold Smith Rowe if the need for it didn't arise. Like the manager could play about
for what need? Okay, for what need? Okay, where are we going now? Okay,
financial
so
need now, like
financial need. And now, okay, so financial need is it that financial need in such a way that are we broke or we just need to
it's not being broke. It's not being broke.
Okay, so what is financial need?
The FA is being strict this season about financial fair play, and every club balancing their books. Now, Emmy Smith Rowe is obviously an academic graduate, and it would also help in pure profit for the club. So whatever is sold for is a net profit to the club. It is not like somebody like Nicolas Pepe that was net negative to the club.
We are not doubting that though. See, at the end of the day, you're gonna realize that we're actually onto the same thing. But you cannot now go ahead and do that and then complain that you don't have enough players. Do you get my? I
think where you are being unfair to Arteta is sometimes we forget that managers are employees too. Do you understand?
But if his title is no longer an head coach, he's a manager.
It doesn't matter. You are still an employee. Whether they give you head coach or manager title is just a difference. Head coach has less power than manager, but manager doesn't have as much power as sporting director or owner or something. You're an employee. They are paying your salary too. And Bedge mentioned Smith Rowe because of PSR rules. Even though I'm not a fan of clubs selling the academy players to balance PSR rules like profitability and sustainability rules, I understand why you need to sell him. Like Melemeje rightly mentioned, is net profit. If you sell an academy player, is net profit. Just ask Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and Co. That's what they'll be using to bypass the rules. But for me, I know you mentioned in terms of obviously you can't. Arteta is guilty of one thing that we're failing to mention in terms of trusting the younger players, promoting talent, and all those things. Because last season, Arsenal had like a core of 14 players. And I continue to play games over and over and over and over again. And I understand this point when he says we need more outfield players because you can't play 14. You can't have 14 key players when you're going to compete in the Champions League and all those competitions and stuff like that. At some point, fatigue is going to set in and you fall apart come next year and stuff like that.
And it's the same way we've started. It's the same way we're heading into the same direction.
I want to ask you a question now because it goes like. Yesterday, what I saw yesterday was one thing that because there were periods whereby Villa's game plan was spot on. They were unlucky to even lose that game.
Exactly.
I'm going somewhere. I'm not even blaming Arteta now. They were unlucky. Oli Watkins had an absolutely horrendous game and stuff like that. But one thing I learned from yesterday was that Arsenal have finally learned how to win. You don't have to play well every time to win. It's not written in any constitution. There are games whereby you might be dominated, like especially the first half. Second half, they played better. And as soon as they got that first goal again, they had more confidence and they grew into the game and they scored the second goal. And ultimately, that's what matters because you are playing Villa away from home, where a lot of teams will even still end up losing games this season. And that's progress. Now, according to David Ornstein, Arsenal are not actively looking for a striker per se. They are looking for a forward player, whether it's on the left wing, the right wing, center forward, someone that gives them that X factor, someone that offers something different. And there are rumors of, maybe signing Raheem Sterling on loan signing a different type of player that offers what maybe Martinelli, Trossard, or Saka doesn't offer. Whereby even when you take out any of those players, you would
There's still threats.
yeah, still a threat and stuff like that. So for you, from a standpoint of an Arsenal fan, does that make sense to you? Or do you feel like, oh, we need to go and find a 40-goal striker somewhere, 30-goal striker somewhere to win the league?
Okay.
Because you've mentioned that goals are not the problem.
Goals are not the problem. And okay, well, in terms of like making decisions as a management, you need to start from somewhere. You need to start from a baseline. And the proper baseline is, okay, scoring goals is our problem. It's not. The proper baseline is just last season. Like when you look at how we fare with Man City in terms of goal difference, considering the fact that they have a striker in Erling Haaland. So goals is not a problem. We don't really need like a 9. And most of the 9s that you have in market now won't do the kind of work you want. And there's a reason why Man City are actually playing around Haaland. Haaland doesn't offer any defensive benefit as a striker. But once you give him the ball, 8 out of 10 times he's scoring. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So we should approach it from that angle that, you know what, okay, because of the way you want to play, you want every player to be able to put in all the effort, both forward and then on defending too. You just need a replacement or someone that offers almost the same threat as what's called Trossard on the right-hand side where Saka plays. Because you don't, prior to the game yesterday, Saka was being treated on the pitch when they were doing warm-ups. And it gives you a kind of concern that, okay, we can't continue to like stress the ball all in the name of, oh, he's still young, he still can, he has that capability, he has the capacity to play because he's young, he recovers fast, unlike old players. It's not a proper ground, to be honest. So you want to keep this guy fresh, so that the amount of threat he brings to opponents will be sustained. So you bring in a player just like Trossard, and Trossard wasn't expensive when he came in. All we had to do was just to increase his salary, and then that was enough to like tempt him to come. So you can just also look for that kind of. I'm not looking for extravagant player. I'm not looking for players that we have to like blow this.
So would you take Sterling?
Would I take his Sterling? There's still a problem of his salary. Nobody's talking about that. And Arsenal wage this thing now is getting crazy. Let's be honest, it's getting crazy. Before it gets to a particular point in time that we have no control, and then by the time it gets to that point, we have no trophies to show for. It's going to ruin the club. And all of this process that we are talking about is not going to matter by then. So I am bothered about his own wage, his salary. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Maybe he might actually offer the same trade, because we don't want to spend much or anything. But what about his wages? Will he be able to like say, you know what, okay, I'll take a pay cut? And I don't see him doing that. I don't know his personality. I don't know his character, if he's willing to do that. So I can't speak to it. But yeah, if you go for someone in Sterling, provided that his wages is not a problem, okay, I'll manage it because of his he has proven himself in the EPL, and it's just so unfortunate that he goes to a Chelsea team that, you understand, like it's not working. That's what I would say. I won't say he's totally a useless player. No, I don't think so. Based of his record and all that, you understand. So I mean, there's just that. That's what I just think, to be honest.
It's the On About Nothing podcast, not the Arsenal FC podcast, but it's nice that Aki has expressed himself. I think it's more interesting drama, because I remember telling someone at the beginning of the season that there are two things that not very many things are more interesting, especially on Twitter, on Instagram, than when Man United lose. Whether it's 0-0, whether it's 2-0, whether it is score on goal. As soon as Man United lose, just drag yourself to Twitter. Banter is everywhere. There's material of all kinds of content. You probably enjoy it as much as you enjoy a football game. But here I am thinking, okay, it's week 2. I'm probably not the biggest fan of Eric Ten Hag. I feel like he's overrated and stuff like that. But in the same breath, I don't think people should be ringing the alarm bells, calling for his head after the second game. And yes, there were signs in the game that shows that, okay, maybe they're trying to do something. And in a different breath, if the game had gone in a different direction, there were signs that Brighton could have run away with the game with maybe 3-0 or something. So either way, it's still there. But as far as I'm concerned, it's still the second game, and at least before you guys start capitulating and demanding for his head on a pike and all those things, let's wait till November now, B.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not saying this because I'm a United fan, but anything with United in it sells paper, like it sells the news, literally and figuratively. So it is always fun whenever United lose. I was speaking to my babe and I was like, you know what? Let me report myself now. We've lost. Because that's the time you start seeing it on status and start asking me, your useless team lost again today. So I feel like it's early days, but I would have to say this because I didn't even say this when we won. It's the fact that for the first time, I'm starting to see a plan. I'm seeing a plan, though the plan is not well sought out in the sense that I don't understand the Bruno and Messi Mount combination. Like, I understand you want to press. I understand you need a lot of players to press and all of that. But at the same time, we are pressing at the deficit of goal conversion. For the life of me, I still don't know why Rashford is starting. For the life of me, I don't know. I think he would have more impact coming into the game. He was woeful to say the least. But at least we can see, and I wouldn't like to say Eric Ten Hag is overhyped, but the pressure on the job itself, the position itself is overhyped. Let's put it that way. The moment you become a United manager, you almost become an overnight celebrity, and everybody scrutinizes your every move. And that's why I think that the job is not really for a manager that is trying to build. It's not. You can't put a young manager in that role and expect anything good to come out of him because the press will be at his ear every night and day and all of that. But I think for the first time, I'm beginning to see signs of what Eric Ten Hag wants to do. And I think it is early days. It is too early for people to be asking for his resignation. The hashtag Eric Ten Hag is out again. It was out for all 38 games of last season and nothing happened. They won the FA Cup and everybody almost forgot automatically how woeful we were throughout the season. So I feel it's just the normal Man United fan syndrome and Man United opposition syndrome. The fact that everybody's happy when United lose and everybody waters it down when they win. They're like, you know what? The team you played was little whenever they win. And whenever they lose, everybody's like, yay, I'll come on, you lady. So I feel it's just still that syndrome. And if Eric Ten Hag can correct a lot of the mistakes he made against Brighton, because one, I saw no reason why Bruno was not in that game till the very end. Yes, he murmurs a lot. Yes, he has his bad side. Yes, but he's still the best player in that squad by light years. There's absolutely nobody that we can buy now and in the future that plays better than Bruno Fernandes in that team. So I feel like the manager made a lot of mistakes and there's still 36 more games to correct those mistakes.
Akin, Bright mentioned Rashford today. I understand that he's the prime minister. We all love him. He's the prime minister. He feeds kids and all those things. We like him. We love him for what he does off the field. But on the field, over the last 2 seasons, have not been really great. But what really baffles me sometimes with player-manager relationships is we saw Sancho leave for Dortmund on loan from January, and we saw how well he played. Even he played in Champions League final again, and we're like, okay, he's still there's obviously a very good player in there, and he showed signs of it. He showed it when he was on loan at Dortmund. Comes back to United, Eric Ten Hag tells us that everything is under the water. We have settled our fights. There's no fight here anymore. And throughout preseason, you could see him play first nine, first middle, first this thing. When he was playing well for Dortmund, we saw him on the wings. At United, every time talking about first nine, first middle, okay. The season starts. Last week, he wasn't in the squad at all. And he has an ear infection. This week, you didn't put him in the squad at all again. You say he has to fight for his place. What's making me laugh now is that, no problem, I don't have an issue with people fighting for their place. But Anthony is on the bench. We are putting youngsters like Toby Collier, no offense to them, on the bench. And at the back of your mind, they are there wondering, I don't want to believe that Sancho is that bad to the point where he cannot get into Man United's bench.
He's not bad. Yeah, I mean, clearly, when he went to Dortmund, we all saw what happened now. And how the team actually went to the Champions League final. What I think is that this is going to be silly when you think about it, but when players are actually maybe negotiating their transfer, or probably they are in the news for transfer, they should also look at wherever. I mean, they should be able to. And sorry, okay, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, it's just a question. Like, I think Sancho got to Man U before Ten Hag came in, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so but it doesn't. What I'm about to say now doesn't it doesn't relate to him in a way. But going forward, like if you're negotiating your transfer, you also need to be able to look at like the system. Like, is it the right system for you in a way? Like, let's be. It looks silly, but it helps. It gives perspective. Like, okay, are you the kind of player that is actually ready to probably fight for your place or compete? And then when we're talking about compete in a system that actually makes a whole lot of sense, and that's the problem that is currently happening in the Chelsea team. You find out that there are a lot of players that actually play almost like they're competing for one spot. And at some point in time, these players also have like they have like I mean they should be concerned about their mental health, because you can actually doubt if you're not getting like the minute you probably want to play. It might actually affect you. You might start thinking like you're not good enough for anything. But in a separate system or in a different team, you probably are you're just as good as these players. So I think for Rashford, I hate to say this, Rashford used to be a threat to Arsenal, and that's how I see Rashford. And for that reason, a whole lot, I respect the guy, to be honest. So I think he has just gotten to a point whereby, I don't know, maybe he just needs to like a change of environment, to be honest. He needs something bigger. He needs to challenge himself. I think he's probably getting comfortable or at Man U, or something just you just need to like light a fire up his ass or something. Something just has to happen. There has to be a trigger in a way to just have him back. Because right now you have Rashford, and the same thing is actually you have the Sancho issue. And Sancho, if his head is in the right place, and if his agency are actually concerned or much concerned about him, like I think they need to start negotiating his way out of that team, and actually put him in an environment that works for him. Because these guys don't have enough of, they don't have a lot of years on their, like, football. You know how football is, round. Before you know it now, you're out of that time that you are running out of time. And forget the whole point of, okay, you're under a contract, they are obligated to pay you regardless. You also want to be able to, like, I mean, do what you love as a player, like as a professional. So if they are actually, my own what's called 2 cents would be just, if you are really if you still want to continue playing football at the highest level, you guys need to start looking for a way out of a particular team if it's not working for you.
The Premier League is in full flow. City won at Ipswich for some weird reason, like things that were beyond me. Were trying to prove to us that they can play football better than City. I will never understand that for the life of me.
They just got our hopes high. I was like,
You see, I've said this thing over and over again. Is the fact that you see that almost 14 teams will want to play inverted fullback this season. You will see that the other 19 teams, they want to be passing from the back. That second goal was very stupid for the life of me. Like, okay, let's just continue. Because if I start this thing, you.
I understand that football has evolved and everybody is trying to, which is beautiful to see. Everyone is trying to build up on the back and stuff like that. You did that in the Championship, you were successful. But against Man City, even Madrid can try it. So
if should never try it. Even Barca, they try it, you will ship 7.
It explains the reason why a lot of people feel like, oh, let's play Guardiola football. No one is actually being innovative anymore. Like, no one wants to no one wants to set up their team for a particular scenario.
Like imagine all those Fergie years. Like, let's be sincere. Guardiola's style of football is very impressive to watch. But one of the reasons that made Fergie's era very prime was the fact that he had managers that will come and Ryan shock across his life. Like, that was the only thing Stoke would play, and they will beat Man U 1-0. That's how, like, try and be creative. That's what coaching. Why are they going to school? Are you like, okay, all of them should just go and enroll under Pep now? If that is like, I feel like
No, Bright is right though. Bright reminds me a lot about certain concerns that's actually going on Twitter. You know, on Twitter there are a lot of like misyands and there are also a lot of truth. It depends on how you want to filter it. Now they said Guardiola has made football look he has made football look like there is no just individual skillful player anymore. You understand? Mm-hmm. Like a Guardiola is not going to like. In fact, you can't be in a Guardiola team and want to be playing like Ronaldinho.
You have to be a specialist. I saw that. You have to be a specialist.
You saw that. So you can't be. Yeah. So now they are facing our players that are skillful out of football. They are facing the old number 10 role out of football. You understand? We used to know like a number 10 to be so skillful. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a concern too, let's be honest. And that's the reason why something has to change in football. Like those people that actually make all these rules, they have to do something such that, you know how like every year, every NFL, you know how sorry. So,
what would you do?
No. See, I'm not. I don't have the experience. You think I just watch football, but I can't. I don't know what they can. I don't know what rules they can actually introduce such that it encourages that teams start using 10 or start finding those players that actually.
I don't think there's anything you can do. But the point we're missing here is me, for example. I don't even blame Guardiola for it at all. Because I know people say Guardiola has ruined football, blah, 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 when you're watching old clips and stuff like that.
I blame the morons that are copying him.
It's one thing we're forgetting about sports in general. Sports in general is that it's a copycat game. Especially football. It's a copycat league most times. When Conte showed up all those years back and 3-5 or 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 looked like it was going to win. Almost everybody in the Premier League. Almost every defender. Do you understand? Because he was winning. So since we're like, even Guardiola, when Guardiola played him at the Etihad when they lost 3-1, just absolutely destroyed him. He played 3 at the back. He got beat. So there's always this thing in football whereby, okay, this is it, yes. And in terms of, you're absolutely spot on when you say they are phasing out players in the mode of more skillful players. I think I've mentioned this on this pod before. I was watching Roberto Martinez talk on the Ferdinand's podcast, and he mentioned the fact that now in football, like kids, 15-year-olds, teenagers, you can't teach them how to build up play from the back, how to play tiki-taka. No, they've been taught from a very young age. They can do it. They can play football tactically. They understand how to build up play. Tactical awareness is there and stuff like that. Football has moved even from a youth level, and I don't think that's on Guardiola, to a youth level now. There is no coaching, that expression of freedom whereby if you have the ball, express yourself, do things with the ball. Football is more structured. It's more structured in the sense that are you tactically sound? Are you tactically astute? If we put you in a system, can you play well? Can you still play your own thing, but ensuring that the team is the most important fact? You must do your own thing, but ensuring that you're part of a team and you're part of a circle. So that coaching has gotten to a youth level. And like I mentioned, it's a copycat league. At some point, 1 or 2 players will show up again and start doing things that you have not seen before. And coaches will go back again to youth level and telling them that, you know what, dribble everybody is here on the field. Anybody who's here on the field, just dribble them. When you finish dribbling them,
but Wale, I feel it's more harder to go from where we are now back to that. Why? Football is more of a Lego now, such that you are in peace in a very big system, and it works for some people. I will not like
right. I don't think it's hard to go back. I don't think. See, the people like Pep Guardiola. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know where you're going. But let me just make sorry for interrupting. There's these people like Pep Guardiola. The style of play they played over time didn't just develop in their head. Let's be honest with ourselves. It has been there for a while. These people actually played football. While they were playing it, they understand what could have. They only improve based on certain system. So I won't be surprised if at the end of the day, people are like, you know what, let's go back to this thing, because there will still be more skillful players in the future.
Players. To buttress Akin's point, inverted fullbacks, liberos, like people like John Stones going from defense to midfield to go and play, is not new. It wasn't created last week or last year. They've happened in the past for a very long time. Franz Beckenbauer played his entire career better than John Stones do it. We move from centre back and dribble around in the entire midfield, then go back centre back again. Inverted fullback, it's just that Pep found a way to make sure that, okay, how do we improve on this? How do we make it better? And in terms of going back, the reason why I said it's possible to go back is that there was a period in football whereby the idea of you are playing 4 defenders at the back was ludicrous. What do you mean by you're playing 4 defenders? It was always 3 at the back at that system. Then somebody woke up one day and said, instead of playing 3 defenders, I can play 4. Then play with more weight and every other thing. And it became a thing. People started doing it. Then the Italians woke up another day again and said, you know what? Let's start playing 3 again at the back. So it's like a constantly changing circle. Yes, I understand Bright's points that it's going to be very difficult because now you have teenagers that are 12, 13, 14, up to a certain age that have been taught to play football in a certain manner. So it's going to be, the adjustment might be. But at some point, when people start winning or someone else starts winning, it's a copycat game. Another person will sit and be like, oh, this is what is raining now. Let's try it. Oh, let's play football the way Stoke played it in 2008 or 2010. It looks like it's going to happen. And somebody else will try it and they might start winning. And I agree with Bright in the sense that coaches have become less innovative. It's almost as if everybody's watching Guardiola and going, oh yeah, I will do the same thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I will do the same thing.
I feel like what we had in the past was very creative in the sense that one unknown guy would just come, disrupt the whole landscape, and everybody would be like, wow, who is this guy? Like it's almost like within the last I'm not trying to discredit people, but within the last 10 years, there has not been any spectacular manager. And to everybody that will be coming to our comment section and say, yes, I'm not watching other league. Yes, how many other leagues have you watched other than the ones I've been watching? So I watched the French league, and there has not been innovative managers. Andrés Villas-Boas, he just came and he disrupted every time. We're like, who is this guy? It didn't work out in the big leagues for him, maybe because of some other external issues. But these were managers that were thinking outside the box. They were doing something new. It wasn't like everybody was just copying De Zerbi and Pep. Everybody was just copying Pep. Everybody just copying De Zerbi. Everybody, I understand that Pep is winning a lot, but you can also do other things and win. I'm hoping that people like Company would try and one way or the other adjust whatever Pep is doing, because we have to be sincere. Even Alonso is doing something similar, like Romero. We have to be sincere, except if you are not watching Liverpool.
Most times it's usually it's all based on the same principles, but there are variations in the same.
Exactly.
And the variations that variation is now what actually separates manager from manager, and that's why one of the reasons why last season when people were saying, oh, look at that Bayer Leverkusen team, wow, they were praising what's his name, the manager, Alonso, and then you come to this preseason, Bayer Leverkusen, Arsenal, and they were totally destroyed. And that's where managers actually stand out in terms of that variations. How well are you able to mix something up or just switch? You understand? So it's just the variations at the end of the day.
Hopefully we'll get to see more variations. I know. Let me just tell people to come to the comment section that we drag them back, please. The way that Nigerians and South Africans have been dragging themselves over this boat issue, because you are somewhere. Actually, you are wondering that you are in the US now, and somebody else in a different state is ordering boats. I know some people said that it's a good thing and it can help because of danger.
It's not.
You guys
let's be honest. These are. Let's be honest. People, we should do
because you cannot order a boat for me from where you are now. Even before they rolled back whatever they said it was, within the same country, you could not order boats for somebody not in your state. So why would you not allow that kind of loophole where somebody is ordering boats, is ordering a share riding, whatever it is they call it, from different countries, countries that
I think it's the loop. It's one of the loopholes in the app. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Maybe there should have been some fail safe or I think it's the word is fail safe. It's such that you can't allow people to go past the jurisdiction or the geography of wherever they are. You understand? I don't know if there's a possibility in doing that. But one of the things that just gets me so maybe I won't say I'm not like I'm worried, but now all in the name of trying to doing country banter, you are putting people's daily bread under I mean, you guys must have actually seen or heard, I mean, how people are ordering, and then the like Uber drivers just get to the same destination and there's no it's all. I'm like, what has gotten over us?
Actually, let me play devil's advocate. How about those people that said, oh, they've been in emergency situations whereby someone else has ordered boats for them? That was the aim of creating that avenue.
Whereby we're being silly if we are saying that. I think we're just being silly if we're saying that. Because for like hypothetically, let's say I need a boat. Now I'll now call Aki. That is
they're not saying call Aki. They're saying
you're not saying like I get what Wale is saying. Like for instance, let me use that example. I have an example. Wale Noves. I get example. Now, Bright, for instance, now you get your babe you want to see your babe. You can't order right for him. Does that make sense?
That used to be possible now. That has always been possible.
But that's the same way. Is that not what you're saying?
No, Aki, what they are saying is that's not what they're saying. What I'm saying is that country.
What's happening?
What I'm saying our country is you are talking to, let's say you're talking to Bright now, for example, from the US to Nigeria, and there's an emergency. Maybe something has happened to him, and you can order boats to his house or something. So people are trying to justify. I'm not saying people are trying to justify that's the reason why the feature is there in the first place.
For the mind of me, it has never occurred to me to even try something like that. Like
no, is it boats in particular?
You know why?
Yes, or any ride-hailing app, of that magazine.
You know why? Because there's what we call international business laws. Like the way a store that sells clothes in Nigeria would operate should be different from the way they will operate in UK, because there are different laws in different lands. So
different business.
Like in my mind, that should never have been possible. That's nothing I have ever tried to do or attempted to do. So like those making an excuse for that, they're just being silly. And I feel like the more we allow stuff like this, we always clamor for a world where everything is fair, but the more stuff like this happen, the more opportunities for xenophobic actions, for racist actions, for tribalistic actions, the more corporate bodies give room for this thing, the worse it gets. Like, I would not lie to you, and I'm saying this because it's going to be on record. It is going to be hard to solve the friction that is between Nigeria and South Africa. It's almost going to be impossible. Now, let me bring it down another level. It is with the level we've gotten to as a country now, to solve the rift between the three tribes, it is going to be a daunting task. Whoever the leader is that successfully harmonizes the three tribes, I swear to you, sorry, they should win a Nobel Prize. So that's how difficult it has gotten.
Sorry.
Anyway, I think our time is fast spent. But before we leave, a happy posthumous birthday to Kobe Bryant. And to describe him, I know there's always going to be a debate. Oh, is the GOAT? It's not the GOAT. It's not in top 5. It's not in top 10. It's this, blah, blah, blah. I don't even want to get into that now because we know that he's one of the greatest. But the best way to describe Kobe, in my own opinion, was he was great on the court. And his biggest legacy, in my opinion, was off the court. The influence he had on people, to this very generation of NBA players, how they see him, how they understand his work ethic and etiquettes, like the influence he has had on them. I think that describes Kobe in a nutshell. I don't know about you, Akin.
Oh, I mean, you said it all. Like, I mean, I think he will be remembered majorly for his off-court influence. And I was looking at a video of a reporter that was talking about how he was in Paris and he boarded like an Uber, and the Uber guy was like, "Oh, are you American?" Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I'm American." He said, "Do you know Kobe?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Kobe changed my life." Like, and I'm pretty sure when people like that say some stuff like that, it's almost because of his work ethic, like you say. He makes people just want to like believe in themselves and stuff like that. that as long as you put in the work, you can actually achieve anything, and it makes people just want to work majorly. And it's one of those things like people have been clamoring on like a whole lot for like these new age basketball players right now. Like nobody, everybody's soft. You understand? And when we're talking about like athletics and maybe sport generally, you want people that inspire other people to just feel like they can do anything. You're no longer just any human. You're not just an ordinary human being anymore. They see you as someone that can do things that nobody else can do. You understand? And that's why if certain players or certain people are not meeting to the expectations of the fans are just easy. They easily bring out you. I can do better than this guy. You understand? So they need to see someone that they can actually do better than. You understand what I'm saying? So that level of what's it called? Or athleticism and sportsmanship is no longer existent again. I mean, Kobe is one of those few people that actually reminds you of like putting in hard work and then just going all in, like be competitive first. So yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that a lot of people still remember him even after this, even after so many. Is it so many years? How long has he been dead now?
4 years.
4 years. 4 years is a long time, man. Let's be honest. So yeah, yeah. Rest in peace, man. And hopefully, I think the family are doing good. So I hope they continue to get that fortitude to just continue to like bear the loss, and yeah, he will be forever remembered.
Yeah,
Let me get in one word, Kobe Bryant.
I think Kobe was one of the few athletes whose influence transcended beyond borders of continents, of countries, of states. Kobe was one of those few people who lived life more than for themselves. And it's sad that his daughter had to go with him, but you can see how he translated that firstly into his family, into his daughter. In a society where the whole foundation of society, which is family, is crumbling, Kobe was one of those few athletes that upheld family values, and like it was almost impossible not to see. And that is why people like that would always, their legacy would always stand. Their legacy will always stand the test of time because they've done more than sport. With no disregard or disrespect to any past basketballer. There are some basketballers that are very great. There are some basketballers that they were one of the best to play the sport, but they don't have that influence globally. They don't inspire people. That's the word. They don't inspire people to be something more than what they are. So Kobe was one of those few people in his action, in his business enterprise, in his family, in his lifestyle, in his mentality, the Mamba mentality. The Mamba mentality is something that would outlive every one of us because somebody dared to live more than himself. So I think Kobe lived a very great life, irrespective of how short it was, and his legacy will stay forever. Kobe was one of the first people that brought myself to start watching basketball in a country that is dominated by football, and that speaks volume. Kobe and Shaq, like those were fond memories I had of him. So his stories would always be one of those stories that we'll tell our children and our grandchildren. So I feel like that's the best thing you can do to your legacy. It's sad that we had to lose him that young, but Kobe is a life well lived.